welcome to Blood Moon Milk, the astrology show that comes out every new and full moon to help guide you on your mindfulness, meditation, and manifestation journey. If you're new here, I'm Aurora, and I have been studying astrology since 2008, and I started this show back in 2018. I also write The Daily Dose. It's an email newsletter you can sign up for over at my website, bloodmoonmilk.com. It comes out Monday through Friday and helps you to learn about astrology in bite-sized chunks. So, without further ado, this episode is all about the full moon in Taurus that occurs on November 15th, and it's set to be juicy, dramatic, and enlightening all at once. And we have a modern mythological expose on L. Frank Baum, the author of Wizard of Oz fame, among other works, to gain some astrological insights to his life and career. But before we jump into all of that goodness, let's catch up. So, how have you been? What's new? Oh, thanks for asking. Well, on the last episode of the show, I really had to kind of rush through it and just get something out there. Not because I wasn't aware of what was going on astrologically, but because I was busy preparing for a new partnership that just launched on November 11th with GnosticTV.com. And I will be doing Daily Dose astrological videos over there. It's kind of like the Daily Dose email newsletter, but it's a video of me talking you through what is going on. And so I was busy prepping and writing all those videos and catching up with the podcast today. I'm trying something new. I'm filming this podcast in video format, and I'm probably going to put it up there on YouTube or at least the website if I can get it edited in time. If not, it will probably just be audio, but let's see how it goes. In the meantime, make sure that you're following the show on Spotify or share the show with your friends or leave a nice review over on iTunes. It helps the show to grow and helps other people just like you to find it, and it doesn't cost you anything. So thank you so much for your support. Also, with 2025 around the corner and the elections just behind us, I wanted to make sure that I tell all of you about my offering for a 2025 reading, a look ahead at the year. I'm offering it for $225. It's about an hour 15 minutes or so in length. I'll do it over Zoom, send you a recording, and I'll give you your transits. So if you want that, head over to bloodmoonmilk.com, and there's a big pink button that says 2025 sessions. Just click that, check out, and I will send you an email to book your session within 24 hours. And we'll get together on Zoom and talk about all the major changes that are coming your way with all of the major planetary shifts that are happening next year. I do think that 2025 is going to be the most energetically charged year that we have felt in a long time. I want to say since 2020, but I really don't want to be a doomsayer, but I do think we have dramatic shifts on the horizon, and I want to help my listeners navigate them as carefully as possible. So if that's something that interests you and you would like, I feel like $225 is a very reasonable price for a whole year's worth of personalized transits, as well as your time with me. So go take advantage of that, because I want you and I want as many people to be prepared as possible. And I really truly believe in the power of astrology to help us be aware of these subtle shifts in the energy around us before they actually occur. So thank you for listening to that. Now let's get into the astrological life and journey of L. Frank Baum, and we'll get into the astrology surrounding this very dramatic full moon in Taurus. So we'll be right back with that. When I was looking at the astrological energy around the full moon in Taurus, and the full moon is at 24 degrees of Taurus opposite the sun in Scorpio, I had two options for people who I felt would be interesting enough to talk about. And those two people were L. Frank Baum, who we're going to talk about, and Mark Zuckerberg. And there was definitely a part of me that was like, well, maybe Zuckerberg is more relevant to what's going on now, but no, I'm sorry, Zuck. You have enough PR. L. Frank Baum it is. Let's go. Let's do it. Lyman Frank Baum, born under the sign of Taurus on May 15th, 1856, was a prolific American author best known for his legendary work, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. And he had a creative drive that really speaks to the grounded determination of Taurus and Taurus energy. Baum penned over 55 novels, including 13 sequels to The Wizard of Oz, 83 shorts, and an unknown number of plays and scripts, displaying a remarkable gift for manifesting his visions into something tangible and realistic. Now, I think that this really does display Taurus's predilection for steady, continuous work, and all of these efforts to bring his works to the screen and stage is pretty remarkable. He was also somebody who had his sun conjunct Uranus, which, by the way, spoiler alert, the moon, the full moon, is conjunct Uranus during this full moon. So we'll get to that a little bit later. But I think that visionary ability that embodies Taurus, especially Taurus, Uranus in Taurus, which is all about forward thinking, innovation, and the ability to come up with new, exciting, novel ideas, but to manifest them in a practical, grounded way, is something that I think is a hallmark of L. Frank Baum's life and work. His resilience is reflected in his ability to bring these works from his mind, from his upper imagination, from the realms, the ethereal realms, into something tangible that we could all see and feel and relate to, and something that was lasting, was certainly significant. His works even foreshadowed progressive themes of things like gender equality and the modern power of advertising. And also, I mean, he had a book that was called Tick-Tock of Oz. I mean, if that doesn't speak to something special happening with this man and his imagination and his ability to bring novel ideas that kind of feel like they may have been channeled to him on some level, something like, it's almost like he had tapped into this whole other world to be able to bring us such a rich environment. I think that's really, really something special and remarkable about his work. So he started writing in his 20s and 30s, which genuinely does coincide with his Saturn return. And Saturn's transit often brings challenges and teaches us to level up and have some maturity and take on some responsibility. And he, during this time, was kind of floundering in his careers. He was a newspaper writer and a manager, and he had a lot of setbacks, including some financial difficulties, and a fire even destroyed his first theater. But still, he continued to push forward, which is a testament to Saturn's, like, it tests us when we have our Saturn return. We are tested to continue our work. If we get knocked down, we get up again and we keep going. You know, that old Chumbawamba song. That is the theme song of Saturn returns everywhere. You have to keep going. And certainly L. Frank Baum did this when he published The Wizard of Oz in 1900. Now, like I said, L. Frank Baum's sun was conjunct Uranus, and I think this is indicative of Uranus's bold visionary influence on his sun sign. It was able to help him tap into cultural themes of adventure and individual discovery that resonated with readers and audiences to this day. Jupiter, also known for his expansive energy, was transiting a key part of his chart during this time. Jupiter's influence supported Baum's creativity and growth, amplifying his ability to reach a larger audience. The Wizard of Oz became an instant success, and its profound impact can be attributed, maybe, to Jupiter's power to help manifest dreams into reality and Uranus's push for originality. And as Baum moved into the early 1900s, he experienced his second Jupiter return, which occurs every 12 years, and it brings us opportunities for expansion and growth. His Jupiter return encouraged Baum to further develop his beloved Oz series. The success allowed him to write 13 sequels, dive into fantasy writing, and even explore new mediums. Although Frank Baum is famous primarily for that one book, he wrote a good many other children's books. Like I said, he wrote 13 additional Oz books, a variety of other fairy tales and short stories and verses, and several series of girls and boys books. And he did some of these under pseudonyms, so it's not always obvious that L. Frank Baum was the author until you kind of know. And he inspired other writers. I mean, he kind of famously inspired Victor Herbert's Babes in Toyland, but he also firmly believed in reincarnation. He had faith in immortality of the soul and believed that even he and his wife had been together in many past lives and would be together in future reincarnations. But he did not accept the possibility of transmigration of souls to animals or vice versa, like Hinduism. He was in agreement with the theory of theosophy, and that idea is that Earth is only one step through the spiritual state of consciousness through many universes to a final state of enlightenment. He did believe in karma, and whatever good or evil one does in his lifetime tends to return to him as a reward or punishment in future reincarnations. He also believed that the great religious teachers of history had found their inspiration from the same source, a common creator, and he became a theosophist as a result. However, late in life, Saturn's influence also made its felt. Moving through Capricorn, where Saturn was not that long ago, we've all experienced Saturn and Capricorn in our lifetimes. If you were over the age of 5. So this brought a lot of failed ventures financially for him. He had a commitment to creativity and storytelling, though, and that remained strong. In the 1910s, Uranus moved into Aquarius, sparking another period of creativity and innovation and exploration for Baum. Aquarius is often associated with radical ideas and future-oriented thinking, and it aligns with the themes that Baum explored in his lesser-known works, many which anticipated modern technology and, again, gender equality. His works during the Uranian period reflect his bold imagination and foresight, portraying advanced technologies like wireless telephones and computers, as well as a progressive theme around gender and gender recognition. Like I said, he even had a book called TikTok of Oz. If that's not a visionary of the future, then I really don't know what is. But by the end of Frank's life, Saturn has returned to its natal position in his chart, which can signify a completion of a life's journey. During this period, Saturn was moving through Pisces, where it is now, by the way, a sign associated with dreams in the subconscious and the spiritual realm. In his final years, Baum suffered from health issues, and he still continued to write and create anyway, embodying Saturn's determination to see things through to the end. As Saturn closed his cycle, Baum left behind a legacy that would transcend his lifetime. His Oz series, enriched with universal themes of self-discovery, resilience, and hope, reflected his journey with Saturn's lessons of dedication and Uranus's gift of vision. His influence has extended beyond his time, exemplifying the impact of Uranus's innovation and energy and Jupiter's expansive nature. Well, the full moon in Taurus occurs at 4:28 p.m. on November 15th at 24 degrees of Taurus. So first and foremost, check out where 24 degrees of Taurus is in your chart. See if there are any personal planets or angles in your chart that are at 24 degrees of Taurus. This could be a clue that you're about to get a little shake up, a little wake up from the universe. And the sun is, of course, in Scorpio in opposition to this full moon because we are in Scorpio season. So this creates a push-pull dynamic between the secretive, intense nature of Scorpio with the gentle Taurus moon. However, peaceful Taurus can be when it's content, it can also quickly become enraged when angered. This is a get the bull by the horns kind of situation during this full moon, I believe. Why do I think this is a get the bull by the horns kind of full moon for this full moon in Taurus? Well, this full moon is conjunct the planet Uranus. So similar to how Uranus was conjunct L. Frank Baum's sun, we have this kind of in the opposite. The moon is conjunct Uranus during this full moon. So this is the wild card, the child of rebellion version of the Taurus full moon. And we're not getting Ferdinand the Bull, the peaceful, loving bull of that. I love that children's story. If you haven't read Ferdinand the Bull, you should definitely go check it out. But it is not the vibe of this full moon. I want to be clear. So let's start with the sun. The sun is in Scorpio. The Scorpio energy embodies the courage to confront our inner shadows and the power to rebuild after challenges. And I know that most of my audience who listens to this really does feel challenged right now. And I don't really want to go into politics because I still firmly believe that things are still unfolding. We don't know the full story yet, but I want to focus on this full moon and give you a place to find peace and comfort. But I think that this full moon could really be indicative of a twist, a plot twist, if you will. Well, also, I think that because Mercury is in Sagittarius at 16 degrees, so quickly, he's speeding through Sagittarius, he's getting ready to go retrograde. So he'll be pretty close to being opposite Jupiter during this full moon. So this tells me there are secrets coming out. These two planets are in mutual reception, which creates a symbiotic back and forth, an inner knowing, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Because I know what I'm thinking, but are you thinking what I'm thinking? And just being able to look at somebody without words passing and know what is going on, what is about to go down. So this energy is definitely at play during this full moon. And I think we're going to feel this collectively, right? This is the collective energy of the full moon. So we can be seeing and feeling this vibe play out on the public stage. But with Mercury going so quickly through Sagittarius, he's getting ready to go retrograde next month. So the things that are coming out now, we don't have the full story yet. So just keep that in mind if you are feeling like you are struggling with accepting anything that the media is telling us. I think that there is more to the story and more to unfold in due course. So just keep that in mind and try to just make decisions based on what lights you up, what feels good in your heart, and do the right thing for you and your family and your community, and you'll be on your right path. So with Mercury in Gemini, or Mercury opposing Jupiter in Gemini at 19 degrees, again, these planets are in mutual reception, which creates that symbiotic back and forth in terms of energy exchanges. And it can also make things feel like they're a bigger deal than they actually are. Like it can kind of turn a mountain into a molehill into a mountain, making a mountain out of a molehill. That's the saying. That's what I'm trying to say. So this can create a bigger picture and bring details out That's the theme of Scorpio season, where the sun is in Scorpio. It's all about getting to the root of the matter. And then Sagittarius season, which is just around the corner, is all about truth and judgment and justice. So let's hang in there a little bit. Venus is at 4 degrees Capricorn, squaring the North Node during this full moon. And so we have this collective sense that our destiny is being blocked. Venus in Capricorn has a very demanding personality when it comes to finances. It wants proof. It wants things to be stable. It wants things to be really mature. And the way it's dealt with, it wants something that it can trust with its energy and its vast resources. However, the collective North Node right now is in Aries at 4 degrees, and these two things are at odds with each other at the moment. So the collective North Node, where we're all going, where we all want to go, is Aries. We want to be free. We want to do that impulsive thing and be sort of free-spirited, but the transiting placement of Venus at the moment really wants to hold on to tangible things that it can get its hands on. I feel like Venus and Capricorn, like the thing that comes to mind when I think about Venus and Capricorn energy is it wants a Birkin bag. Whatever you think of Hermes and fashion and that whole world of luxury goods, I think Venus and Capricorn could say, I want this thing because it's a good investment and it's beautiful and it will be worth more than I paid for it. Even though it's really expensive, it'll be even more valuable once I walk out the store door with it. That's the kind of vibe that Venus and Capricorn puts out there. So this is blocking the North Node, which is, I don't care how much things cost. I don't think about the long term. I don't think about the future that much. I just want to be my authentic self and express myself without thinking about it too much or putting too much effort into it. Aries energy really kind of is about instantaneous gratification. So this energy is also at odds during this full moon. So just be aware. Make sure if you have planets at any of the cardinal signs, so that'd be Aries, Libra, Capricorn, Cancer, at around 4 degrees, that you could be feeling this showing up for you personally during this time around this full moon. But also I feel like greed could be taking some center stage spotlight during this full moon. The collective greed of the people, and like grasping, holding on to something stable, when really the North Node asks us to maybe not think about stability so much, because all we really have is now, and the future can be a bit of an illusion. It's just a little bit of philosophizing on my part, but just meditate on this energy as it comes up and be self-aware about your own actions. That's the whole reason I do this show. Mars is in Leo during this full moon, and while Mars is in Leo, he has the desire to be valued for his creative contributions and his leadership qualities. He really does demand our respect while he's in Leo, but he's getting ready to go retrograde in a few weeks in December. So whatever he's getting up to now can feel a little stifled and lose some steam in the near future. Mars also has some difficult aspects going on during this full moon. So it can feel like there's a lack of forward movement or momentum behind his rather valiant efforts, but this is okay. He'll likely make sure to get done whatever he gets started now, eventually, after he finishes his retrograde period, which will be next spring. So we have a little bit of stalling out in terms of what we are starting and what's getting going, and then being able to actually finish it. So just be aware of that slowdown, because it's likely to start showing up now and become more and more magnified until December 6th when he goes retrograde. It means Mars is currently in his retrograde shadow period, which can make him a little bit more intense than usual. He's also in opposition to Pluto during this full moon, which can really, really dial up that intensity. Now, when Pluto and Mars get into it, you better duck and cover and then maybe get your popcorn because sparks are going to fly. This is the signature of temper tantrums, of angry outbursts, and uncontrollable emotions. And boy, if you're not in the direct line of fire, it can be really entertaining to watch. Patience does tend to be in short supply during this transit. So this can be, because this is volatile, unpredictable energy, especially combined with the out of sign trine this full moon has to Pluto. Because the full moon's at 24 degrees, Pluto's at 29 degrees, Scorpio and Capricorn. So sextile, not trine, but it's an earth water sign, mutually supportive kind of energy there. And this, oh, well, the moon is trine. The moon's in Taurus. Sun's in Scorpio. My bad. They are working together. The sun, the moon, and Pluto are all in symbiosis during this full moon. But it's not in symbiosis with Mars, who is getting ready to go retrograde, and he is going to throw a fit. So we will likely see, especially masculine energy, throwing a fit during this full moon, demanding to be heard. And then Mars, when he goes retrograde, he'll be going back into the sign of Cancer, the sign of the feminine. So that could be coded if you want it to be. You can look into that if you want to. I suggest maybe you don't too much just yet. But just be aware, that's where the energy is going to go for a little while. It's going to be real interesting. Get your popcorn out. So yeah, Mars is going to be throwing his temper tantrum. And then the power is going to be going back into the feminine sign of Cancer when he goes retrograde in December. So, like I said, patience is going to be in short supply. This is volatile energy. And Pluto is going to be steamrolling Mars. Mars will not be happy about it. His temper's going to flare, and this is your heads up. Next, let's look at Jupiter. Jupiter is retrograde in the sign of Gemini. Gemini's at 19 degrees, and like I said earlier, he is opposite Mercury. And this energy can blow things out of proportion, making a bigger deal about things than they really are. So this further underscores this chaos signature, this angry, chaotic, wild card. What is going to happen during this full moon? I am so excited to see it happen because, oh my gosh, I cannot wait. It will be good. So Jupiter retrograde, he's also sextile to Chiron in Aries. So let's talk about that. Chiron in Aries, sextile Jupiter during this full moon. This tells me we can find a sympathetic audience that we can heal with in a profound way. We can find our communities now, even in the face of challenges, and we can become stronger together. There can be a heightened sense of intuition and wisdom now on a collective level as well. So we could be seeing this showing up on our TikTok feeds. It could be showing up in the media. There could be these intuitive hunches that just guide us to talk to people about our feelings, how we are waking up at 4 a.m. on election night and maybe feeling like something is off, something's not right, and then all this other stuff starts to fall into place and unfold around this full moon. So make sure that if you're having these kinds of feelings, you are feeling like you can find people you can talk to freely about without too much judgment, and find your safe space, find your community. I think that's incredibly important now because there will be so much complicated conflicting information flying around outside of this of our homes and in the media during this full moon, that it's going to be really important that we build that sense of community and that safe space. And Jupiter working with Chiron here, sextile to Chiron, really does suggest that there can be massive collective healing available to us, especially if you are a fire or air sign. If you have, especially if you have planetary placements at around 19-20 degrees of either of those signs, you could be key to helping other people heal, helping be that shoulder for other people to cry on or lean on in difficult times. But this can be really beneficial for those fire and air signs during this full moon. Next, let's look at Saturn. Saturn is retrograde in the sign of Pisces. He's at 12 degrees, the sign of Pisces. And interestingly, he's not making any major aspects during this full moon. It's almost like he's declining the invitation. It's like, hey, I see that party happening over there, but I'm gonna sit this one out. I'm gonna hang out at home, maybe have some wine, maybe paint, listen to some tunes, and do some very Piscean themes of expressing itself behind closed doors, and just being a little bit more introspective. He makes a minor square to Mercury in Sagittarius, so there could be some slight issues with the truth coming out, but I don't think it's that big a deal. It's a very loose square, so it's kind of like, there's some resistance there, but it's not enough to keep the cat in the bag, I don't think. Or at least not forever, not indefinitely. So Saturn is, and it's interesting to me, this is not the first lunation that I've looked at in recent times where it seems like Saturn is just kind of taking a breather, and which, you know what, I will take, because Saturn, when he is in a mood, can be a real bitch, with all respect to Saturn. This is not to say that if you are a Pisces, especially if your birthday is at the end of February or early March, where Pisces, the degrees of Pisces are right around where Saturn is transiting right now, you are probably feeling this pretty personally. Life probably feels pretty crummy, because Saturn is transiting your sun, teaching you a lesson about maturity and responsibility and growing up. So just be aware that when I talk about Saturn transits and he's taking a breather, it's from the collective energy of this full moon, not you personally. Next, let's talk about Uranus and how he is conjunct this full moon. This is powerful energy for innovation and out-of-the-box genius ideas to take hold. But Uranus is also the planet of revolution, the planet of rebellion. And Uranus is also the planet of shock. So whatever happens during this full moon is likely to be pretty shocking and cause a flurry of unexpected events to take place that follow on from this, and it just adds a jolt of energy to this full moon. It's like something is being revealed to us collectively during this full moon. Oh God, this is gonna be so juicy. I just cannot wait. So people could feel sudden insights, emotional shifts, or a need to change, especially in areas related to security, stability, relationships, finances, which are all Taurus themes. And while, while the sun is opposite Uranus, we could also collectively be feeling a sense of impulsivity. Taurus loves stability and loves things to be very consistent. But with Uranus there, it just disrupts this consistency. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Oh, we have a visitor. Hold on. Oh, if you're watching the video, you can see my little, my little grumple coming to say hi. So just like this little one deciding to come interrupt the recording session, which I will never discourage, Uranus can be causing us to just have a little bit of disruption in our lives, and as a result of whatever shocking news comes out during this full moon, I think it's gonna be a shocker. Well, maybe not to everyone, But I think to many people, many will be shocked. Many will be feeling duped or or there just could be sudden realizations that things were not what they seemed. And I think this information that's going to come out could really change our collective perspectives. So that's one reason. And then, there's other planetary positions that we can get into. Pluto's moving on. I've been hinting at this for a little while now on my TikTok, saying like, Pluto's moving into Aquarius. Pluto is moving into Aquarius. It is going to change things. Mark my words, it will change things. And I don't think that what is being anticipated currently is going to be the way things play out in reality. So Uranus's influence can have us stepping out of our comfort zones. It could have us confronting deep-seated fears or challenges and allow us to change parts of ourselves where we have resisted it the most. Full moons are a perfect time for release. And with Scorpio's influence, where the sun is, this one can let go of attachments or power struggles or anything that's held us in psychological or emotional chains that we might not even have realized were there. Uranus can bring a fresh, liberating influence, helping us to see these attachments for what they are and to help usher in a new perspective that can inspire us to release outdated or confining elements of our lives and usher in fresh new perspectives and new possibilities for our future outcomes. Sudden realizations or external events might reveal hidden impacts or sorry, my dog just jumped down and made me lose my place. This could reveal hidden dynamics or impacts that we didn't even realize were there going on, causing us Uranus brings a fresh, liberating experience and influence, helping us to see these attachments from a new perspective, inspiring us to see them for what they are, and empowers us to leave them behind, to release outdated or confining elements of our lives that really need to be let go and released. That's what full moons are for. It's for releasing outdated, outmoded, old ways of thinking. Sudden realizations or external events might reveal hidden aspects of relationships or power dynamics that need to be shifted. So, for example, you might need more freedom or authenticity in a relationship, realizing maybe that current commitments need to be reevaluated or restructured to align with your best path for personal growth. So this is a powerful full moon. People could be experiencing epiphanies related to self-worth, authenticity, or even life direction now. So these realizations might be sudden, but they also might be freeing, that can help us align more collectively with a genuine path that both reflects our personal desire for stability and Scorpio's desire for deep transformation. So this can manifest and usher in unexpected developments, especially related to work, home, or long-term goals, especially if there have been any stagnation in any area of life. This could find this transit could really have us asking about the status quo and whether or not we're happy with it and what we're going to do about it. So it can be a deeply transformative full moon for many of us. Next, let's look at Neptune. Neptune is retrograde at 27 degrees, trine the sun in Scorpio at 24 degrees, and he's sextile to Uranus. This alignment supports intuitive insights that can lead to emotional release and creative inspiration. There is the earthy stability of Taurus combined with Uranus's electrifying influence and Neptune's spiritual depth. It opens us up to epiphanies that feel both visionary and grounded at the same time. So it's a great time to tune into dreams, meditations, or any practice that you might have that allows you to unpack the unconscious mind into your conscious perception of reality. So Neptune's presence can also intensify what Uranus is doing with this full moon, encouraging us to grow with compassion. So this is really gentle energy that Neptune's adding in, but there can also be an element of illusion and delusion, which is the shadow side of Neptune's influence. But I do think it is an ideal time for collective healing work, artistic expression, or engaging with humanitarian efforts that blend practicality with empathy. Uranus and Neptune get together and spark dreams of change. They deal with our collective ideals and our humanitarian visions. And under the full moon, they can help us usher in positive transformation on a large scale. So this really does support brainstorming new approaches to personal or societal goals, particularly those that align with healing or uniting people. I think this is beautiful energy, and it can be really hopeful in light of a lot of the darkness and the despair and the frustration that many of us have been wrestling with in recent days. All right, so we're back. Think of Frank L. Baum's works, The Storyteller. This drive comes from an empowered throat chakra, and it came with a lot of Uranian influences. So make sure that you're giving your throat chakra some love and attention to empower yourself through this full moon meditation and really help yourself speak your truth and your authenticity. So some of the stones I like for this is Amazonite. It's known as the stone of truth. Amazonite helps to calm the nervous system and dispels negative energy, and it can particularly be effective if you feel the need to express yourself with courage, confidence, and you need to help to really strengthen your voice. Also, lapis lazuli can be a powerful throat chakra tool as well. This deep blue stone, I'm wearing my lapis earrings right now, can help you connect with mental clarity and connect with your inner truth, and it can empower you to speak with wisdom and confidence that is clear and thoughtful. So good to have when you're filming and recording a podcast. Sodalite is another one. It's calming and grounding energy. Sodalite encourages us to have rational thought and to be balanced emotionally and help us stay grounded. And it can help us to be thoughtful with our expressions and can help us to communicate kindly during tense situations. So I think those three stones can be your allies during this full moon. And Taurus, especially this with such powerful, volatile, and transformative energies at play. This is a time of releasing old patterns and embracing breakthroughs that align with your soul's long-term goals. So here are your questions for mindfulness, meditation, and manifestation for each of the rising signs. So here we go. If you're an Aries rising, this full moon is likely to be in your second house, the house of values and self-worth. So ask yourself, what financial or material beliefs are you ready to break free from? And how can you create more freedom in your relationship with abundance? Get rid of those old, outdated, limiting beliefs that are holding you back. If you would like to visualize yourself shedding any limiting beliefs around money or resources, this would be a great time to do that. So how does it feel to be free and abundant and feel that in your body? What bold, innovative steps can you take to create the financial security that you really desire that's aligned with your true values? If you're a Taurus rising, this will be in your first house, this full moon. So ask yourself how you're evolving your sense of self to align with your authentic and true nature. Are you resisting any necessary needed changes that could really help you to level up somewhere in your life? Whatever first comes to mind, that's probably it. That's probably the thing you need to really confront and face head on. Picture yourself shedding that old self-image and those limitations and stepping into a new, stronger, better, shinier version of your more empowered and confident self. And what transformative changes can you make in your appearance, your behavior, or your personal daily goals and habits that can fully help you to express who you are becoming? If you're a Gemini rising, this full moon will be in your 12th house, your house of spirituality and the subconscious. So what conscious fears, or subconscious fears rather, or patterns are you ready to release that can help you to embrace a more expansive spiritual path? And make sure that you visualize the release of these old fears and these limiting beliefs, and make space for those deep spiritual insights and healing to come through for you. How can you break through the barriers of your subconscious to align more fully with your spiritual growth and your purpose? Do you need to hire a professional? Do you need to see a therapist? That could all be stuff that is relevant for you coming up during this full moon. If you're a Cancer rising, this full moon will be in your 11th house, your house of community and future goals. So what long-term dreams and goals no longer resonate with who you're becoming? Are you ready to let go of them and make room for new innovative paths, new friends? Picture yourself surrounded by a supportive community, moving towards collective goals and dreams together, working together in harmony. And what bold, unconventional actions might you be ready to take to make your dreams a reality? How can you embrace those changes within your community? If you're a Leo rising, this full moon is in your 10th house, your house of career and reputation. So what aspects of your professional life really need to be transformed during this full moon? And how can you embrace radical change in your career path? Visualize yourself taking a major step forward in your career, one that feels both powerful and authentic to your deeper purpose, but also aligned with this new vision of yourself. What long-term career goals can you transform or innovate or change to align with your real ambitions and your true values? Now, if you're a Virgo rising, this will fall in your 9th house, the house of higher learning, beliefs and ideals, philosophy and travel. So ask yourself, how are your beliefs about the world evolving? Are you ready to embrace new knowledge or experiences, or maybe take a trip of a lifetime? It could be the time to book something to far-flung places. Get out of your comfort zone. Picture yourself stepping into a new adventure or journey that expands your horizons and frees you from old limitations that are just stagnant and no longer serving your highest and best journey. Really ask yourself what bold steps you need to take to expand your mind, to explore new philosophies, cultures, or even spiritual practices during this full moon. If you're a Libra rising, this full moon will fall in your 8th house, the house of transformation and shared resources, the house traditionally ruled by Scorpio. What fears or attachments to old patterns do you need to let go of to help transform and deepen your emotional intimacy during this full moon? Visualize releasing any of those emotional burdens or financial constraints and allow yourself room for deep healing and transformation. Now, what changes can you make in how you share resources or how you approach intimacy, allowing for a more profound transformation in your life? If you're a Scorpio rising, you will be feeling this pretty intensely. This is going to be in your 7th house of partnerships and relationships. How can you shift the way you approach your relationships to allow for more freedom, for innovation, and for deep transformation? Because it's in the cards, it's going to happen. Envision yourself in a harmonious partnership where you and your partner are both evolving and growing together in new, unexpected ways. Remember, this partnership doesn't have to be just romantic. It could be business partnerships too, if that's what you're looking for. But manifest that partnership that aligns with your growth and your vision for the future. Put your energy into making and feeling that coming in. If you're a Sagittarius rising, this falls in your 6th house of health and daily routines. So what aspect of your daily life or your health routines aren't really serving you as best as they could? What radical changes could you make to improve your health and your well-being? Now visualize yourself releasing any unhealthy habits, and create space for more vitality and rejuvenation. Just focus on getting rid of things right now. You can focus on cultivating new things during the new moon, but right now, just make space. What changes in your daily habits or health practices can support that transformation in your mind and in your body so you can be your most vibrant, authentic self? If you're a Capricorn rising, this full moon will happen in your 5th house, your house of creativity, children, and pleasure. So how can you break free from any rigid structures or fears that are blocking your creative self-expression or just your general enjoyment of life? Picture yourself engaging in a creative project that feels liberating and fun and fully expressing your authentic self. Now, manifestation. Manifest a creative or a recreational pursuit that you can dive into that brings you joy to help you embrace the unexpected and really feel and explore what that feels like for you. If you are an Aquarius rising, If you're an Aquarius rising, this full moon will be happening in your 4th house of family and foundation. Let go of any old family dynamics that can be released to create a more liberated and harmonious home and environment for your loved ones. Visualize yourself at home or in a home that reflects your true self, your true identity, and fill it with peace and love and innovative energy. All the things that really turn you on and make you happy at home. What steps can you take to transform your living situation or your emotional foundations to support your growth and your stability? So lastly, but definitely not least, Pisces rising, this full moon will be happening in your 3rd house, your house of communication and learning. How can you shift the way that you communicate to embrace a more authentic, innovative, and transformational voice? Picture yourself speaking your truth clearly and confidently, free from any fear or limitations. What new ways of thinking, speaking, or learning or expressing yourself can you embrace to communicate your unique ideas and express yourself more fully? Well, that was a lot. This is the first time I've filmed an episode on camera in a really long time, so if you have a chance to go watch, I'll put charts up in the episode, and give me some love. Share the show with your friends. That's it for this episode. If you want to schedule a private session with me, I've got 2025 sessions on special right now. They're $225 over at the website. Get in touch, head over to bloodmoonmilk.com, and I will reach out to book your session within 24 hours of your purchase. I'm also open to submissions if you'd like to pitch any subjects or if you're an author or would like to be a guest on the show, reach out, get in touch. I also just love it when people say hi. So let me know you're out there listening and what you like, what you don't like, or just say hi and say thanks. That's great too. My theme music is written by the talented Adam McIntyre, and until next time, I wish you all the best the stars have to offer, and thank you for listening or watching.